Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me once again to another video. This time we're going to be looking at MIDI arpeggiators and how it can actually help you with some of your compositions and moving forward with maybe a section of it that's getting a bit slow and stale. Maybe you just have long chords and you need just some momentum and drive along with it. Join me in the next few minutes and we'll get into it within Cubase, and we'll also get into it within Ableton Live, where we'll use the MIDI effects rack as well. Hello everyone. All right, we have the Ableton Live project here that's open, and we have two tracks. One is Spectrasonic's Omnisphere and the other one is Albion 1 Strings by Spitfire Audio. So what I'm going to do is just do a simple 4-chord progression using C minor, G minor, A flat major, and F minor. And I'll just play that in very simply here. Okay, so that should suffice. Now everything is not perfectly lined up here, but that's totally okay. I'm just going to set it to a single bar here for my grid, and then I'm going to select all the notes, and I'm going to use Control U to quantize everything. There you go. So they're all just perfect full bars for that. So see what that sounds like. Okay, so with that, let's see if we can spice things up. Let's make it a little bit more interesting here. So why don't we go to Omnisphere, and let's see if we can add some variety, some color to this. So I'm just going to go in here and just audition a few things. I think I'm feeling like a good pluck, which will help with what I'm going to illustrate here. So I'm gonna actually, there's a pluck that it's pretty good. Let me find it here. I think it's called Breakdown Tranquilizer. There we go. I think this should work. Now why I'm choosing a pluck here is because when we're going to be playing with arpeggios, which is the whole point of this video, it is a lot more effective than to use long notes, obviously, and works really well with synthesized elements like the pluck here, and it also works really well later on, as you'll see, with strings and woodwinds and sometimes even brass. But as long as you're playing short notes like staccatos or spiccatos, it seems to be okay. I mean, it's a lot of times it won't be the most realistic thing in the world, but blended in, it might be okay. And if you're doing a little bit of mixing in or striping with real orchestral elements, that might mix okay. Let's move on here. So okay, I've got the pluck, and what I'm going to do, this is super lazy producer style, is just say this is our chord progression here from what we wrote in earlier, and I am just going to straight copy that over. So let's just play that. What does that sound like? So you can hear the pluck that just comes in at the beginning of each bar. Not very interesting as well. So what we're going to do is use our good old friend that's been around for decades in most of our DAWs, the MIDI effect with Arpeggiator. So I'm just going to take straight up the basic arpeggiator here, and then just have fun. Just start evaluating the different patterns that's available to you here, and you'll be surprised. Sometimes you know, you'll see. Okay, so you heard a very slow progression there. And you'll notice that it's all still in key properly, and it's just playing through the chord notes. So, and that works well. However, it's a bit slow. It might work for the intro of a track or something like that. But in our case, let's spice it up a bit. Let's increase it. So I usually like to go to 16ths and keep trying it out. So that's the whole point of this, having fun and getting some ideas. Okay, so that's already a little bit more interesting than a straight flat long chord the whole time. There's a whole bunch of different options if you're in Ableton, and if you're in Cubase or any other DAW, I'm sure there's a whole ton of different things. I'm just going to go with a chord trigger here, so let's give that a try. So I kind of like that. It kind of gives it a little bit of a pulsing feel to it to give the track a little bit more energy. And maybe I'll also increase it to run through a couple more steps. So what's going to do is when it's triggering and it's playing, it's going to keep moving up 3 different octaves. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, that's not bad. I'm not sure if I really like that different tone, and then it gets into that higher pitch tone after. So I might play around with some of the higher notes here. So all I'm going to do is transpose these down. Let's see. Okay, so maybe that's still a little high, or maybe we should just make it all even. So I think it's really this first chord here that's, oh okay, it's actually the velocity. So maybe we just play around with the velocities here. Make it a little bit more even. Okay, yeah, I think maybe we'll leave it at that for that particular instrument. And let's keep going. Let's have more fun here. I'm going to add, I think we need more fatness in the chords here. So I'm just going to grab maybe, maybe I'll grab a Zebra 2 here, since I just got this sample synthesizer library here. Okay, let's go. You know what, let's go for an organ. I really like this Silverman one here. I was playing around with it before. Okay. So once again, super lazy style. You'll see a pattern here. You can just have a lot of fun. All right, I'm gonna play that. Okay, already you can hear there's a little bit more drama and intensity with that organ here. So I'm just going to call this Zebra 2 organ. And this is Omnisphere Pluck. Yeah, I think it sounds okay. I think we'll leave it at that. Let's see what else can we do. Maybe, again, in the spirit of doing more arpeggios with the MIDI effect, I think the organ sounds okay as it is with a held chords like that. So let's go for more instrumentation. Let's grab, you know what, Abbey Road 1. We had a review in a previous video about Abbey Road 1 and a lot of great sounds. And one of the really shining stars about Abbey Road 1 are all these short articulations. So what better way to take advantage of them than to mess around with some arpeggios here. So I'm gonna go with, I mean, let's give woods some love. Let's make woods cool again. All right, here we go. So I got high woodwinds. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to drag over that chord progression once again, and we'll just play around with that. So you know what? Maybe I'll solo it for now. Let's see what it sounds like here. Okay, that's a bit weak. Let's turn up the velocity, because for this patch, and for most staccato type of patches, you would increase the velocity for more dynamics and loudness. Okay, also since I used high woodwinds, I'm gonna transpose this up a little bit to there. There we go. Okay, that sounds all right. Once again, let's go for the MIDI effect of arpeggiation. I'm just going to drag it here. Let's see what we can do. Let's play it as is. Okay, once again, 1/8 is a bit slow. Let me go to 1/16 and let's just up it to 2 steps, so two different octaves for its run here. Okay. Okay, by itself might not sound like the most interesting in the world, but let's hear what it sounds like when it's all layered in together with all the other instrumentation with this. Okay, let's lower the volume for the rest so the woods don't get outperformed here. Okay, I think it adds a little bit of color and texture to this whole track. And like I mentioned before, let's also add in some strings. Might be good to give it even more drama here. So I guess I'll just use more Abbey Road 1. Nice and simple ensemble patches here. Okay, high strings, let's do spiccatos. Same deal, copy that over. Oops. All right. Sorry, did I mess up there? Okay, spiccatos. All right, here we go. Let's hear what that sounds like. Dramatic stabs. I think they also need the same treatment with the arpeggiator. And let's solo that for a sec here. Okay, I'm not sure if I like it going all the way down to the bass notes here. I think I'm just gonna stick with the top 3 notes there. So it'd be like violin 1, violin 2 or something playing. Okay, and once again, let's up the ante here to 1/16 notes. And go to 2 steps, and let's give that a try as well. Okay, I think that adds some color and some interest once again. Let's hear it all together. Okay, I think that all works well together. I think we'll need a little bit more low end to spread out the frequency spectrum here. Let's just go with some low strings. Okay, and so since we're low strings, let's really drop it down here. Cool. Okay, we're going all the way C1 just for the fun of it. Okay, once again I have to add the arpeggiator because by itself it just sounds like this. Okay, let's grab it once again. You know what, this time, let's see. Let's go with a down pattern. Let's go to 1/16. And same thing, we'll do 2 steps. Okay, let's try that. Okay, sounds pretty interesting, I think. not sure if it's really sitting right. Let's just do the same thing with up as well. I think it's better when it's kind of following along with the rest of the strings here. Let's end the wood with the same pattern. Yeah, definitely. Now with the woods. Okay, so far we're getting something a little bit more interesting. Let's add in to our master here some Ozone 9 to kind of just give us a real quick sense of what a final mix might sound like with compression and all the usual stuff here. Let's go with Greg Kalibi's mastering here. Let's do more mid-range and bass detail for... Did I get that? Mid-range bass detail. Okay. Let's hear the whole track here so far. Oops. Okay, yeah, you can hear the loudness and everything's all being corrected with compression and all. So highly recommend Isotope products. They're amazing. Again, not sponsored, just stuff I really like and recently got in 2020. Really awesome stuff. Here we go. Okay, I think that's sounding super. As the final cherry on top for all this, I think we can add maybe some drums here to get the rhythm going even more. So just use this simple drum loop that we've got. Let's see what's going on. Oh, it's a bit loud, but I'm feeling the groove. Here we go. Let's lower the volume a little bit here. All right, now we're cooking. Okay, so maybe, yeah, so that could be the bass line of a track that you could be working on, and I hope you can see that, you know, just having a bunch of arpeggiations layered throughout, and you saw how simple it was to just use the same chord progression and get something going. I will add in I don't know, let's have one more bit of fun here. I'm just gonna add a Zebra HZ. Let's use Zebralet for lead. I just want to play out this track here as my bass line. Let's try Finlandia. Let's give it some reverb. Synths always work well with reverb. All right, gotta watch how loud that is. All right, let's go for it. Let's play a few bars. I guess we'll stop there for the Ableton Live. Now we'll quickly go into Cubase and I'll show you a similar but shorter tutorial on doing that as well there. Okay, we are back, and this time we're in Cubase, and I've just loaded up a few tracks here. I've got Nucleus high strings and Nucleus some low strings as well, and I've put the MIDI effects on them for those two, and then just for a little bit of bedding, just so you can hear what a track might sound like with that in place, I have Damage for percussions, I have Ethera vocal phrases, and Ethera soundscapes, legato 2, true legato, and I just have some organs for the chords under as a bit of padding, and yeah, just a bit of a downer wave effect for fun. So I'll play you the beginning of things here. Okay, so that was the introduction, and now we're going to go into the everything coming in at once. This is kind of the climactic part of, I don't know, like a trailer track or something like that. So you see that I've done the same kind of pattern as we did in Ableton, where we have a chord progression that I've come up with. Again, 4-bar, same chord progression actually. And yeah, the strings here are just 3 notes, but because we're using the MIDI arpeggiation there, it's going to sound like an ostinato. So actually I'll start with the low string, so you'll hear for that one, you got to make sure it's at the lower notes there, and it's going to do some arpeggiation or ostinatos there. So if you listen to this, let me just solo that, you'll hear what that's going to sound like. Okay, and those were the notes that you saw, and all I'm doing is within Cubase here on the left, in the inspector you can drop down the MIDI inserts section, and you can pick on an effect called Arpeggi. So there's Arpeggi 5 and there's Arpeggi SX. So I'm choosing, oops, just choose Transformer. Arpeggi 5, which is a bit of a simpler interface for arpeggiation there. So all I did was I just left it pretty much at bone stock here, which is just 1/16 notes, and just playing in order here. There's different patterns that you can see that it's going to do, you know, ups and downs and downs and ups and so on and so forth. So you can just play around all day with the different patterns and just evaluate what sounds kind of cool. So here I just leave it pretty much straight up, and that's what you heard. Okay, and then here's the solo for the high strings. Now the high strings, I actually went with the Arpeggi SX here, and you'll see that we have an attempt at a simplified version, but there's a few more things to it. So you can pick all kinds of sequencing as you see fit. There's a whole load of options. I won't go into too much detail. This video is going to take forever. But yeah, play around as much as you want with there. To note, if you click on this drop down, there's a whole bunch of very interesting different sequences. Some even sound like full-on melodies that you've heard in the past. You might recognize some of them, like from Tron and stuff like that. So give that a try. So I've left this here, and for the high strings, that's just pretty straightforward sounding there. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, play around with Arpeggi and Arpeggi SX. They're your friend. They'll help you out with your arrangements and your compositions. So I hope this video helps you quite a lot. I will play this full demo here for you, just so you can get an idea of what things could sound like. I won't stop halfway through. Let's play it to the end. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know I certainly did, messing around with all those tracks and just coming up with something really quick and fast, and using the arpeggiation plugins within your DAW. So I hope that inspires you, and hope you have a lot of fun. I'll see you at the next video, and I'll play us out with some of the tracks that we just made. See ya. And I'm going to show you around with the MIDI arpeggiators that I'm talking about here. Arpeggiators. That sounded arpeggio. Arpeggiators. Arps. Ostinato things.